Howdy neighbors, welcome back to Jacket Time TV. I'm Ashley Tucker. Today we'll be showing some highlights from the recent Chamberlain's Got Talent, as well as looking at some of our upcoming events on our school calendar. And you won't want to miss, weatherman Will Church will debut his 5-day forecast. Today's broadcast might look a little different on your end. It will primarily consist of our Focus on the Farm segment. Our agricultural communications team recently attended the American Farmers and Ranchers Farm and Ranch Day Forum, where they had the privilege of interviewing some of our state's greatest leaders. I ask you to sit back and enjoy the show.
Will Church here at the 2016 KNID AgriFest. And here with me is Attorney General Scott Pruitt. He was actually the keynote speaker at the AFR Farm and Ranch Forum a few minutes earlier. And in your remarks earlier, you mentioned the EPA rule change to redefine what constitutes the waters of the United States. Now, can you expand on this and explain how it will affect us in Oklahoma?
Well, first and foremost, the good news is that the EPA, that when they tried to redefine what constitutes the water of the United States, so they would have more power, more jurisdiction over how we use our land, they've been stopped. I mean, we joined with about 29 other states, about 30 plus states, sued the EPA to say that they were acting unlawfully, and the good news is that happened. And it was important, Will, because when you look at what the EPA was trying to do, it was quite breathtaking. Because under the Clean Water Act, the EPA only has jurisdiction over waterways that are navigable, meaning that, you know, we have something in the Constitution called the Interstate Commerce Clause. And so navigability is a key thing because it shows what? Connectivity between states. Well, the EPA tried to change all that to say we don't need to be limited by whether it's navigable or not, so long as the waterway or body has a nexus, a connection to navigability, we're going to regulate. Now that meant dry creek beds in Oklahoma that were dry 90% of the year. When we had heavy rains, that water was in the dry creek bed 10% of the year would flow downstream, connect to a navigable stream of water at some point, and the EPA was asserting jurisdiction over those dry creek beds. So if you were doing earthwork on your land, with no water in the dry creek bed at all, the EPA was trying to assert jurisdiction there. So it was a breathtaking abuse of power, in my view, and also about, honestly, just being involved in decisions, day in and day out decisions of how we use our land, how we farm and ranch, how we do engage in oil and gas development, building subdivisions. All those things will be affected because private property was in the crosshairs of the EPA. So good news is we've stopped them, and hopefully that will stay in place until this president leaves office.
Hi, my name is Bethany Niles, and I'm here with Mike Sanders, representative from House District 59. Oklahoma has a major budget deficit. So what do you think that this will impact on education?
Well, you're looking at a $900 million differential in spending from last year. I mean, so there's going to be some tough decisions that are going to have to be made. Ultimately, there will be some cuts. Again, as a subcommittee chairman, one of my responsibilities in transportation that I oversee is we're going to have to really dig down and where we can cut and make it efficient, we're going to have to do that because we are required by law to leave session at the end of May with a balanced budget. Unlike Washington, D.C., we have to leave session with a balanced budget, which is good. The bad part of that is there will be cuts. Now, whether or not it's in education, I would hope to leave Common Ed as harmless as possible. That's one of my goals. I have two sisters that teach, so I know that Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter dinners are going to be really fun. So I think we need to look at higher ed funding. I think we need to look at different commissions and boards, looking at the whole budget process. So again, not knowing how the budget's going to turn out and what the actual numbers will be, we're just going to have to prioritize our spending and make sure that we don't hurt Common Ed, or at least as much as possible.
Power Max Equipment. We can supply all your heavy equipment needs, from small to really large equipment such as hay rakes, excavators, canola rollers, and even this Caterpillar forklift that is so good looking it went to prom. We want to be your go-to equipment dealer for sales and service. Call 580-227-3908 or stop by today.
Howdy neighbors, I'm Megan Martins here at the K&ID AgriFest. Here with Ron Hayes, the Director of Farm Programming Radio Oklahoma Network. So one of the big issues right now in ag is this State Question 777, which will appear on the presidential ballot in November. That's right. So if somebody was to come to you and ask you, hey, I don't know anything about this, how would you explain this right to farm amendment?
Well, Right to Farm, that's kind of its nickname. The official, I guess, the title is State Question 777. It will be on the November election ballot, either a yes or a no vote. It will be requested of each voter in the state of Oklahoma. This is all about basically setting a higher standard when it comes to new legislation that the lawmakers in our state representatives, our state senators could actually introduce that might dictate how a farmer or rancher does what he does in producing our safe, affordable food supply here in the state of Oklahoma. Basically, it tells farmers or tells the state legislature you cannot pass legislation without a compelling state reason to actually indicate a change or some prohibition on farming and ranching in the state. Pretty simple, doesn't usurp or change any existing laws, doesn't change any existing regulations, doesn't impact federal rules or regulations. It simply is a roadblock for someone coming from outside of Oklahoma trying to tell our lawmakers or entice our lawmakers into passing something that could be bad for farmers and ranchers.
Hello, my name is Ethan Sackett, and today we will be visiting with Kent Rollins, the founder and owner of Red River Ranch Chuck Wagon Catering and Cowboy Entertainment. So, Mr. Rollins, when did you begin this catering adventure, and how did it all start?
Well, my mother started me cooking when I was about 7 years old. It was nice to be inside some mornings when it was 10 degrees rather than feeding cows, and I learned to cook at an early age. She taught me cook what you love and love what you cook. And then she taught me that, hey, you gather around the table, you share food and you share family. And it's always been important to me to come around the table and share food because it's not the legs that hold the table up, it's the people around it.
That's awesome. You have been named the official Chuck Wagon Cook of Oklahoma and have appeared on acclaimed cooking shows such as NBC's Food Fighters. When you began this catering company, did you ever envision this expansive success?
No, I just envisioned having fun, Ethan, most of the time. Sure, we've got to reach a lot of people in the United States and even across the pond in England and into Canada, and all due to TV. You know, and when I can share the food and the lifestyle of the cowboy that way, well, it makes it even more special for us.
Now, you've been cooking since you're quite young. Do you have a particular dish that is your favorite to create?
Well, we cook a lot of beef, and we're sponsored by Certified Angus Beef, so a ribeye steak is probably one of my favorites, but my favorite dessert is what's in our cookbook over here, and that's a bread pudding with a whiskey cream sauce.
Sounds delicious.
Hi, I'm Carol Harmon. If you would like to see more from the K&ID AgriFest, please check out our YouTube channel, Jacket Time TV. Here's some upcoming events for the next couple weeks. Monday, the 18th, 6th grade basketball at Moreland, 7th grade basketball at Chisholm, junior high basketball at Moreland, FFA livestock judging at NOC, and there will be no classes on Monday. Tuesday, high school basketball at Blackwell. Wednesday through Saturday, there will be All-State Honor Band at Tulsa. Thursday through Saturday, there will be high school basketball at the O'Keene Tournament. Thursday, there was 7th grade basketball at Chisholm. Friday, there's a speech tournament at Northwestern. Saturday, there is basketball at Chisholm, 7th grade. Saturday, there is 7th grade basketball at Chisholm. The following week, on Monday, there's junior high basketball at OBA. Tuesday, there's high school basketball at OBA. Wednesday, there's FFA interscholastics at NOC. Thursday, there's 6th grade basketball versus Watonga. Friday, there's high school basketball at O'Keene and the O'Keene speech tournament. And Saturday, there's 6th grade basketball play day and the O'Keen speech tournament.
Well, go down yonder gable, put your foot on the land and see. Don't you blow that trumpet, Gabriel, till you hear from me. Well, I'm going down to the river, gonna bury my knees in the sand. I'm gonna haul a high Hosanna till I reach that promised land. There ain't no grave, gonna hold my body down.
Hey, you know how explosions are kind of like fire? That reminds me of a joke.
No, please, no.
Oh, this one's funny. This one's funny. I promise. This one's funny. Okay. My friend Carl's bakery burned down last night. His business is toast. Get it? Toast. Because the bread is the fire, and then it fire and makes toast. See, she appreciates me.
I'm Will Church, and this is your local weather report. Tonight in Fairview, it will be around 43 around 6 o'clock, 38 degrees at 8 o'clock, and 35 around 10 o'clock, with a slight wind out of the northeast and increasing cloud cover throughout the evening. Looking ahead for your 5-day forecast, partly cloudy skies for today with a high of 48. Lows in the upper 20s with a slight chance of a flurry or two overnight. We'll see partly cloudy skies for your Saturday with a high of 44, and mostly cloudy skies for Sunday with a high of only 34, and nearly dropping down into the teens overnight Sunday. We'll begin to warm up into the 40s for the middle portion of the week with a chance of rain on Wednesday. However, cold weather and a slight chance of snow will return by the weekend.
Thank you for watching Jacket Time TV. We'll see you next time.